The Don Pacifico Affair. The incident originated in 1847 when Rothschild visited Greece during Greek Orthodox Easter. It is a Greek tradition to burn an effigy of Judas at Easter, but this was banned so as not to offend Rothschild, who was Jewish. However, the banning of the tradition was put down to Pacifico, as he was deeply involved in Jewish affairs in Greece. As a result, mobs attacked Pacifico's house and his property was damaged. Initially, Pacifico appealed to Lyons, British Minister Plenipotentiary to Greece, for help getting compensation from the Greek government. It is here worth noting that because Pacifico was born on the island of Gibraltar, which is a British territory, he was under the protection of the British government. Pacifico was asked to draw up a list of damages, which was then sent by the British to the Greek Prime Minister, Kokotronis. However, the Prime Minister dismissed the claims, saying it was an unrealistic demand, and refused to compensate Pacifico. By August 1848, Pacifico had heard nothing and wrote again to Lyons, noting violence against Jews in Greece in the past couple of years and the intransigence of their government. In October of the same year, Pacifico again appealed to the British government for help. In December 1849, Palmerston wrote to the British minister in Athens that he would be instructing the Admiralty to enforce a naval blockade and detain Greek ships. Parker, who led the operation, reported that the French and Prussian ministers were encouraging King Otto of Greece to resist. This affair gave rise to other British demands regarding the Ionian Islands and compensation for damages to British ships and other property that was damaged during the affair. Palmerston, ready for a reason to settle previous disputes with Greece, had taken this opportunity to demonstrate British power and the lengths to which the government would go to protect its citizens. Palmerston's actions were subject to an assault in the House of Lords, with Stanley leading the criticism. Stanley saw Palmerston's actions to be a threat to British relations with other states, particularly France and Prussia, who had supported King Otto during the incident. However, in the Commons, the action was deemed necessary to preserve British honour, with Roebuck arguing that it was merely to protect the peace. This all reached its peak with Palmerston's famous Civis Romanus Sum speech, in which he defended his own actions as an illustration of British power and a show of loyalty to her citizens. Perhaps the most significant outcome of the affair was the speech Palmerston made to Parliament. He used this as an opportunity not only to defend his actions in Greece, but also his approach to foreign policy as a whole. The whole affair was a demonstration of the extent to which Palmerston would go to defend British interests. He argues in his speech that he is both preserving the traditional conservative values of the Tories and advancing protection of rights, a more liberal idea. It goes unmentioned that Palmerston had somewhat hypocritically abandoned his previous refusal to get involved in the internal affairs of other countries. Palmerston did not want to admit that he had diverged from his policy. These are a few books and articles I looked at. The articles are worth looking at in more depth, and the first offers a concise, if somewhat limited, explanation. The first book does not contain much on the specific incident, instead focusing on Palmerston's actions as a whole. The second book is perhaps more useful, detailing the events in Greece more specifically. Of course, the best resource is the article by our own Jeff, with Hannah focusing more on the consequences of the affair. Personally, I think the affair was good for British diplomacy as a whole, as it gave the government an opportunity to reassert Britain's role on the world stage. However, the contradiction to Palmerston's non-interventionist policy could be considered a weakness in the approach to resolving the incident.